Hi, welcome back. This is the fifth chapter in the Spring Boot tutorial series. In this chapter, we will be implementing an employee list view into our Android application. This list view will list out all the employees that are available on the MySQL server that our server application is connected to. I will show you a demo of what we are going to do in this chapter. So as you can see here, we are listing all the employees one by one as a row by row in a list view, or technically it is called a recycler view in Android. So we will see how to do that. We are getting all these employees from the server through the get endpoint we have created in the chapter 3. So basically we will fetch all the employees that are available from the server and show it in a list view. And these employees are actually created through the employee creation form that we have created in the previous chapter. So without further ado, let's get started. So in this chapter, as we discussed, we will be developing the list view with all the employees that we have so far added into the server. So the list view design is going to be something like this. We will have all the employees listed one by one in a list view fashion, and we will have 3 fields per employee. So we have the name here, we have the location here, we have the branch here. So for every employee we need to show these 3 information. So basically we will be using a RecyclerView component from Android SDK, and we will get all the employees from the server through the API we have implemented in the chapter 2 and 3. So when we send a request to the employee/get all address, we will get all the employees that is available in the server. So let us start our coding, and let me open our project in Android Studio. So far this is where we are. We have the form ready, and we have the save button. When pressed, will save the employee into a server. So the next thing that we will need to do is to create a new activity, and in that activity we will actually list these employees. So let me go into the Spring Client genuine coder.spring client package and click on new, and we are going to create a new activity. And let us choose an empty activity because we don't want any extra components to be added into our activity by default. So I will choose the empty activity option, and here we need to give a name. So as the name, let me give employee list activity, so that because we are basically listing the employees as a list. Of course we need the Java language, generate layout source file, yes, and let us click on the finish button, and we have the activity created. So we will go into the activity list, and here the only component we are right now is a list view. So we will use the RecyclerView component. So RecyclerView component is just like a list view, but it is more efficient in terms of memory, and actually Google recommends using RecyclerView if you want to create list view. So we will be using that RecyclerView, and we will make it it should cover the whole screen, and now we want to give an ID for this component so that we can reference it from the program. So as ID we will give employee list, I made a mistake, employee list, then here we can say like RecyclerView. So we have a component ready in the XML. We need to add this into our activity. So here I will make private RecyclerView, and we need to initialize it here. So RecyclerView equals find view by ID r.id.employee list RecyclerView. So we got the RecyclerView object in the code. And regarding RecyclerView, if you are new to this, one of the prerequisites for using a RecyclerView is to set a layout manager. So we will set the layout manager right away right now. So in the layout manager we need to set a linear layout manager. So there are basically two or three layout managers. Usually we use two. First one is linear, which will align the components vertically one by one like this, and there is also grid layout manager, which will align the items as a grid, like within the row. If we want more than one items, then we can use grid layout manager. So for now we will be using the linear layout manager, and we have to pass a context, and we will pass this variable as the context here. Okay, now we have the basic recycler view set. The next thing that we need to do is to load data from our API. So in the previous chapter, we have configured the retrofit service, and we have configured the API interface. So if we call the getYourEmployees function, it will fetch all the employees from the server into our program. So we need to test that first. So what we are going to do is to call a function, create a function called load employees. And let us write that here, load employees. And here we need to use the retrofit library to access our API. So for that, just like before, just like what we did in the main activity class, we need to make use of the retrofit service, then create an API object, and then call the function. So I will just copy that here, retrofit service, then employee API, and from here we will take the employee API and use the function get all employees. And we use the enqueue function just like before, because we need to load the data asynchronously from the server, because loading data can take time, just like we said in the last chapter. So we will do this. So here two things can happen, like the call can be a failure. So if it fails to load the data, we need to show it. So we will say in case of failure, fail to load employees. So that is about the case of failure. Now in this function on response, this will be called if the loading was successful. So if the loading is successful, we need to show that in our list view. So we will write another function called populate list view, and we will pass the list of employees that we have obtained. So when we call this function, we will get the result in the response object. So we will take the response, which is the list of employees, from the response object's body. So response.body will give us the list of employees that are loaded from the server. Okay, we will create a function here, and here we have the list of employees. Now the thing that we have to do is to set up the recycler view. Now we have the items here. We need to somehow populate them so that it will look like this, it will look like a list like this. So for this we need to do two things. First of all, we need to create a design where these individual rows needs to be designed, and then we need to create an adapter for the recycler view. So for recycler view, if you haven't worked with that on already, the way you do is you will create a list view, and you will create an adapter, and the adapter creates a row for every entry. So here in our case, for every employee, a row needs to be created. So let us do that next. And for that, I will go into the resources file, layout, and let us start designing a XML file, XML design. So I will go into new layout. So we need a layout resource file, right? So here I will say employee item, and here I will say list employee item, so it is more clear. Okay, I need to do that. Then here in the split view, let us start designing. So we need three fields, so we need three text views. So I will use text view, wrap content. Okay, then the first one is going to be the name, right? So here for a dummy text, I will give it here as name, like employee. So first we need to show employee name, so we will do that like this, employee name here. And then as I said in the last chapter, I prefer doing this design in the XML because it gives more control. If you like to do that through drag and drop, of course you can do that through the drag and drop. So I'll just quickly do this here. So let me give an ID for this one. So employee name, so what name should I give? So employee list item name, so this is going to be a name. then I need to set some constraints. So top to top of parent, start to start of parent, so it will stay here. And I also need to set a margin for this one so that it will look a little bit from the edge. I mean, it will stay away from the edge a little bit, so 20 dp. Yeah, okay, so that sounds good. Employee name, I need to increase the font size, so font size, text size, so maybe 18 sp. 18 sp is a little too big, maybe 16 sp. Then text style, and I need it bold. Okay, then text color, I need it black. Yeah, so we have first configured the employee name, then we need to do this twice, one for the location and one for the branch. So let me check the reference image again. We need the location in the bottom, right? So next one, let us give the location here. Then here we will say location, and the top of that one should be below the name. So top to bottom of employee name. Then yeah, so now it is staying below that. We don't need bold for that. We don't need text size. So the text size we will keep the same. We don't need that much margin from the top, so I will set it at like margin start, so only margin from the left is there, no other margin. So now we got these two values. Now we need one more entry, that is for the branch data. So we will create another text view here, a third text view, and here I will give the name as branch. Okay, then I need to be aligned to the right. So here what I can do is like align, sorry, end to end of parent, and it will align like that. And here I don't need this, so I will just remove this one like that. And then I will use the margin 20 itself, just like the name. And here I need to align it to the employee name. So for that, what I need to do is to set up a top constraint, just like what we did here for the name. So I will give the top constraint here. So that's it, guys. We have configured employee name, location. So here it is not a location, it is going to be branch. Branch, and I don't want to use a black color for that, because only the name should get the like bulging effect here. So we have successfully configured our list item. Every employee will be making a row using this one, so we will just keep it like that. And the height we will set to wrap content, so that it will only take the necessary space it needs. Currently here you can see that in the top the margin is like 20 dp. In the bottom there is no like proper margin, so we need to give a margin there. So the easiest way is like you can give like padding bottom 20 dp, and it will add that proper margin, because for the employee name we have given this margin, so that in the top the margin is correct, but in the bottom the margin is not correct. So we can also give it like this here. Since location is the lowermost item, we can give padding bottom like that, and it will also create a margin, sorry, a padding in the bottom. So for now I will just use it here, padding bottom, so that everything looks fine. Okay, now we have our design ready for every employee. We need to create a container, like a class, for referencing this view properly. So that is called a view holder, and let us create a view holder for that. So for this I will create another package, and I will name it as view holder. Or let us use the name adapter, because we will be generating an adapter for the list recycler view, and the adapter will be using that view holder. So it makes sense to put this class in the adapter package. So we will put it in the adapter package, and let us name this as employee holder. And the most important thing is you need to extend this class using RecyclerView.view holder class, because when we are populating or giving data into the recycler view, we need every row to contain this RecyclerView.view holder object. So we are making a custom object for that, so we need to extend RecyclerView.view holder to do this. So here it says that we need to have a matching constructor. Yes, we will create a matching constructor, and here we need to reference 3 text views. So the first text view, maybe we don't have to make it private. Yeah, the easiest will be just keeping package private. So here we will use text view. Then we have three text views, right? Name, location, and branch. So I will just use it like that: name, location, branch. So we need to create three text views, and here what we need to do is to initialize these text views. So here what we need to do is to find out, like refer or link this name object into this into this employee list item name section. So the way we are going to do is through the item view object. So item view dot find view by id. Then here we need to give the reference to our employee list item name field. So this will, so item view will be actually an entire, like it will be a view that consists of the entire view. Like this constraint layout will be given here as parameter in the employee holder. So from there we need to resolve the name, location, and branch. So name can be resolved like that. Then we have the next field called location. So we will link it to the location text view. Then we will link the third one, branch, into the branch like this. Now the view holder is ready. Once the view holder object is created, we will get all the text views, and from there we can set value for that. So far so good. We have created our employee holder, and the last step now, like the last major step, is to create an adapter. So let us create an adapter here for our recycler view. So I will name it as employee adapter. And for the employee adapter, let me refer a thing. So employee adapter, yeah. So for the adapter, just like what we have done here, like RecyclerView view holder, for adapters there is a class called RecyclerView dot adapter. And here you can specify like what kind of view holder you are giving. So we need to specify the employee holder view holder here. So we will name it as we will just give employee holder here. So this is the like structure of how you create an adapter. You have to extend your adapter from recyclerView.adapter class and give your view holder class name here. And then we need to implement a couple of methods. So these three methods we have to implement. And the first thing that we have to do in this adapter is to receive all the employees, and then we will then this adapter will take care of populating the recycler view with all those employees. So we need list of employees in this class. So we will we will name it as employee list. And then we need a constructor. So when we create an object of this class, we will receive all these employees and set into this employee list. And out of these three, what this does is like get item count. So it needs to return how many employees are going to be there. For example, in this case there are 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So 6 employees are there, right? So in that case, when this adapter runs, it needs to get the count 6 there. So for that, here we will simply give employee list dot size. And then we have two major functions here. So the first function, what you have to do is to create a employee holder object. So let me just write it here. So we need to create an employee holder. So we need to create a view first. So let us do that. view equals layout inflator from, and we need to get a context for this. That can be obtained from the parent object, like parent.getContext. Then we need to inflate a view, and the view that we are going to attach into the employee holder is the one that we just created, list employee item. So we will give that here, r dot layout dot list employee item. And it takes a little bit more parameters. So we need to give a view group a root, and that can be given here as view group parent, and here we can give this as null, sorry, false. So just give the value like this. We need to specify, I mean, here the major important thing is like what is the design for each row and or the layout for each row. So the layout for each row is list employee item, and we are just giving that. And here we have to return the employee holder object. So we will just do it like new employee holder, and here we have to give the view object here. So what will happen here is, if there are six employees, this function will be executed 6 times, and a view holder, employee holder, will be created for them. Okay, I mean, yeah, so that is how it happens. And in the on bind view holder, we have to do the next steps. So here what we have is like we got the holder object, we also got the information on the position, like let's say each row is getting like created. So when first one is created, the position will be 0. So we need to get the first employee or 0th employee from this list and show their data. So from here it gets easier. So employee equals employee list dot get position. So we will get the employee first. We already have the holder created, so we can set the data. So holder dot name, then we can set like set text, and here you can actually get the name from the employee holder. So here we set the value for the name. So again, if you still have confusion, what we are trying to do is to give value for these text views, actual values for these text views for each employee. So we set the name for the name field. We need to set the location, so employee dot get location. We need to set the branch, so employee get branch, and that's it. That's it about the adapter. So now this adapter should be able to should be able to list all our employees. So let us link this adapter into our recycler view. So coming back to our employee list activity, here we have all the employees we want to display. So the first thing that we have to do here is to create an employee adapter object. So I will create a new employee adapter, and it takes the list of employees that we want to display. And from here we need to set this adapter into a recycler view. So we will set like recycler view dot set adapter, and we will set the employee adapter here. Okay, so now everything should work fine. Like when this activity started, it should call the load employees function, and from there it will load all the employees from the server through our API. And once the employees are loaded, it will be given into the recycler view, and the recycler view will list them. Okay, so let us run our program again, and yeah, currently it should start in the form. So currently the app is still starting in the form view, so we need to change that and make sure that the app will start with the list view, like employee list activity. So that we can do from the manifest file. We go into the manifest file and copy this intent filter, cut this intent filter and put it here like this. And then here we need to specify this intent filter so that this will become the starting activity. Now if we run the program, you will see that our application is starting with this, and you can see that all our employees are listed in this table. So genuine coder, Martha, James, Harry Potter, everyone is there. So let us try one more entry. Let us try creating like a new employee quickly through the server. So here I will say let me say like I'll give test user, test employee building 0 test branch, just a random employee. I'm going to create an employee. So that employee is created. It is the 7th employee in our database. And if I close this program and start it again, let me just kill it, close it fully, then open it again, and you can see that the test employee is loaded. So that's it, guys. That's the end of this chapter, and we have successfully created a list view and showed all the employees in our database after fetching it from the server. So in the next chapter, we will be covering, like we will be doing the finalization of the project. We will make the app look better and also give the functionality to load the form, like employee creation form directly from this activity, and we'll wrap up this project. So I will see you on the next one. Bye.